Alright, so let's go to the theme verse, Joshua 1:9. We read a lot, so you don't have to turn there. I'll just read it out loud. So Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So I was thinking about this verse, and one of the things that came to mind was Michael Jordan. Yeah, first, Joshua 1 Michael Jordan. I looked at Michael Jordan, and he was considered the best basketball player of all time. Someone could argue about that, nowadays with LeBron James. But, he was the go-to guy when the Chicago Bulls wanted to score against their opponent. And so the other members of the team, they're more than capable, in playing the game. They have more than capable than most people. But Michael Jordan just soared higher. He just seemed like he was, on a higher level compared to any other basketball player. And when I saw him play, as a spectator, I saw him playing that song, like Mike, if I could be like Mike. It was awesome watching him play. He was pretty much the only basketball player that got me want to watch basketball. And I was never, in the Philippines, my dad would watch it, but it's like noise, and it didn't attract me at all. But Michael was different. So I would watch him play, and I had that feeling of invincible. My team is going to win. Michael Jordan's in the team, so my team's going to win. I had that aura coming from Mike, like I will never get defeated. And especially in the season between 1991 to 1998, when the Bulls won 6 championships in a matter of 7 years. They had 2 three-peats. I remember that. And it was exciting to watch Michael play. But when Michael, I guess after when he quit, first time he quit, because he quit 2 times. I guess 3 times, technically. I didn't want to watch the Chicago Bulls team play anymore. If it wasn't for Mike, I lost interest. I didn't know who the team member was. Who's a rookie, whatever. It's not the statistic. It doesn't matter to me anymore. And so to not have Mike with the team, I didn't quite feel the same about the Bulls. Confidence with my team winning the game won away. So I was just so reliant on one guy to carry the team. If it wasn't for that guy, this team is not going to succeed. That's how I saw it. That's how I felt. So when we look at the first chapter of the book of Joshua, we read that Moses, the person that led the Israelites, the person for such a long time and led so many people from the captivity to the Exodus, he died. And Joshua took his place. Joshua took Moses' place. But we see how the people that surrounded Joshua, we see it in Joshua 1:16, if you all could turn there. Joshua 1:16, how their attitude towards that. Joshua 1:16 says, And they answered Joshua, all that you have commanded us, we will do. And wherever you send us, we will go. So Moses died, but they didn't feel like, well, our leader's dead. You know, the one guy that was leading us is gone. That did not stop them from keeping on going, keeping on walking the way where they're supposed to go. Out comes Joshua. Okay, guys, let's do this. All right, Joshua, we will do what you commanded. And why? Why did they believe Joshua? Because they believed that the Lord their God is with them wherever they went. That's what Joshua 1:9 said. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and be courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. They believed that promise. It echoed in our hearts. So they realized that whoever it is that led them, if they are being led by God, the promise will be theirs to obtain. So their source of assurance did not come from Moses. It did not come from Joshua, but it came from the real source, which is God. So even if Joshua or Moses were not around, the people still have to believe that the Lord our God is with us wherever we go. So like Joshua and Moses, we have such type of believers in our fellowship. They're our leaders. We have a Joshua, we have a Moses, we have, Paul, we have Peter. They're leaders. And we are to be thankful for those leaders because they lead us. God has put that person in that specific position, and that person has accepted the responsibility that was given by God so we can be guided. But when that person goes away or goes on to the next chapter of their life, we should keep going, because it's not through them that we connect to God. We get the Christ in us that we connect to God with. So always be thankful for your leader, but when the leader goes away, we should never be slowing down. That should never slow us down. So now thinking how my confidence dropped so much when Michael wasn't able to play, when he quit, or when he was not at the top of his game, when he was missing a lot of shots. It wasn't the old Mike anymore. I was like, man, Mike, what happened? It was like my hero. It was my hero. And I remember watching a lot of his documentary, like how he carried the team, and from North Carolina, the college where he came from, and the last second buzzer beater that he got, that he shot, and I love watching those. It's exciting to watch, So when my confidence dropped because Michael was not the same, it should not be the same when we're doing God's work. We could be running hot because our leaders is running fellowship really well. He or she are they're getting people in and getting people to believe and doing a lot of work. When they go away, that should not slow us down. On the contrary, when you see something needs to be filled out, make yourself available to take that position. We are to be thankful for our leaders, but it should never be a deterrence for us to stop working for God. It should never be a cause for us to turn aside, to be discouraged, or prevent us from acting for God if they are not around, because we have something greater with us all the time. The Lord our God is with us wherever we go. And I'm going to show you a few verses that we can see proof of the benefit of having God with us all the time. Go to Ephesians 3:16. Because of the fact that the Lord our God is with us wherever we go, we are strengthened. In Ephesians 3:16 it says, that according to the riches of His glory, He may grant you to be strengthened with power through His Spirit in your inner being. So because the Lord our God is with us wherever we go, we are strengthened with power through the Spirit in our inner being. In Habakkuk 3:19 says, God, the Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like deer's. He makes me tread on my high places, to the choir master with stringed instruments. So because our Lord our God is with us wherever we go, we have strength. He makes my feet like the deer's. He makes me tread on my high places. So you can always tie that. Because God is always with me all the time, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ, through Him who gives me strength. Isaiah 40:31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. So again, because God is with me all the time, I have hope. Because God is with me all the time, my strength will be renewed. So this promise is always happening. But because God is with me, I always have hope. Because God is with me, my strength is always renewed. It doesn't matter if you're feeling down. It doesn't matter if you're feeling low. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're on top of the world. Those emotions doesn't tell you, I don't know how to explain it. God's truth is the truth however we feel. God's truth will not become a lie just because I feel like this. God's truth will always be true. And compare your feelings to the truth. Who are you going to believe? The feeling that I have right now feels so real, or the truth that comes from God? And if you see okay, my emotion is not meshing with the truth, okay, I need to renew my mind. I need to take this off and put the truth, no matter how you feel or not. I'm reminded in the Super Mario 3D, Super Mario 3D on Wii U. My kids play this, and there's a mushroom, a big mushroom. That when Mario, Luigi, whoever's playing, when they touch it, they become giants. In a Mario game, when any enemy hits you, I guess not any time they hit you, but when they touch you on the side, you get hurt. It doesn't matter if they're going at you full force or they just kind of just touch you. Just like that, but it doesn't matter. In the game, once they touch you, you're hurt. You lose your whatever power you have, or you become smaller. But when you grab that mushroom, I guess I could say super mushroom, it becomes big. And it's like no matter what comes at him, be it a brick, an enemy, he'll destroy anything in the path. It doesn't matter. He just keep going. It doesn't matter. Come at me. See what happens. Boom. There you go. That's your fault. So we have the Spirit of God in us. When the part of the scripture which says, I am thankful in my infirmities. I'm thankful in my infirmities, not because the infirmity not because the infirmity comes. I'm thankful because while the infirmity is coming at me, I'm gonna come at it like if I just touch the super mushroom. I'll destroy that out of the way. Not because of me, because the Spirit of God in me working makes me feel like, I can break anything because God is with me. So in 2 Corinthians 12, 9 to 10, it says, verse 9 says, "But he says to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong." So that picture of Mario being big, and the enemies are the weaknesses, the insult, the hardships, the persecution, the difficulties. That's what's coming at Mario. But because he has the Spirit in him, the mushroom, he can go at it like, "Hey, get out of my way. You're not gonna hurt me." For when I am weak, then I am strong. For when you are not relying on your strength, or relying on the strength that comes from God, then you become strong. Psalm 46:1 says, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble." That's a promise. Anytime that we are in trouble, or trouble is coming our way, we have God as our refuge and strength. And how do we get to that point where we can rely on this? First, we need to know what God says. We need to read His Word. We need to know what's available. We need to know. We need to have a relationship with our Dad in order for us to trust Him. Because if you're hearing about somebody and they're describing it to you, and you don't feel as comfortable with that person because you're just hearing about them. Oh yeah, you know what, this guy he's a good guy. I trust him. I trust him my whole life. And oh yeah, okay, who's this guy? Yeah, this guy. Yeah. And so you're describing a whole bunch of this about this other person. And the other person is hearing it. Since he doesn't know the other person, he's not gonna fully give his trust. But once you get to know the guy, you know what, you're right. He is a good guy. And that's the thing with God. We need to have a relationship with God, our Father. That relationship is what we need to really get to know Him, to really get to know His heart, and to know that He's always there to protect you, to guide you, to care for you, and like, hey, this is my child, I want to protect him. Kind of like how I feel my son. And I've done things that may or may have hurt him. One time when he was a baby, kind of everything like this, right? And so I got too low to the ground, and I kind of just tap his head on the floor. Like, whoops! Oh, okay, I'm not gonna do that anymore. But once it wasn't a hard tap, but once I felt that his head touched the floor, I was so protected of it. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that anymore. It's like that feeling that I did that to him. Oh man, it broke my heart. So if somebody was to do that to him, oh man, I will never I won't like that at all. And also, God is like very protective of us. You know? In Isaiah 40, 29, 31, I think we read that already, right? Yeah. I'll read it again. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. So because God is with me all the time, He gives me strength. He gives the weary. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. He increases my power because He's with me all the time. And I want to close with a song that we sing in our fellowship. But first I'm going to read a little bit of it. It's taken from, I think it's taken from more than 3 verses, but I found 3 verses that backs up this song. So I'm just going to read it for you. The first one is Psalms 138, verse 2. So, yeah, 138:2 says, I will bow down toward your holy temple, and I will praise your name for your love and your faithfulness, for you have exalted above all things your name and your word. And Psalms 27:11. 27:11. It says, teach me your way, O Lord. Lead me in a straight path because of my oppressors. And then the last one is Jeremiah 15:16. When your words came, I ate them. They were my joy and my heart's delight. For I bear your name, O Lord God Almighty. So the title of this teaching, the title of this song is Gracias Padre. Thank you, God. Thank you, Father. And Aldo and Paco will come up and help me.